boils down, very simply put, boils down to a few narratives. First is that the founder has to overcome fear and overcome shame. And he has to be completely transparent. Candor or candidness is the most important thing. Because we may think that, my team will not find out, but they will someday find out. And when they find out, instead of they hear from me, that's a broken trust, which cannot be fixed again. So therefore, whether it is a good or a bad, you have to be very, very upfront and very transparent, and with a lot of conviction, you have to go out and tell people that, look, this is what has happened. Because, when a bad thing happens, there are 3 ways you can handle a bad situation. Define you, a bad situation defines you. Or a bad situation, you let it destroy you. Or the third is, a bad situation, you go and determine you. So you go up front and tell your team that this is where we are, and this is where we are hit, and this is where we are struggling, and this is where we are going down. And this is what we are doing to do. Please help us spread the word around and think through and come forward and tell us if there's anything better that we can do in the process. You are not just buying them in, but you are actually getting a lot of input coming back from them. And they could be very, very useful. They could actually take you out from your blind spots and give you some wonderful ideas that may change the course. So that's very, very important conversation. Then the other important conversations are like when you have to downsize. And in all these downsize conversations, you have to keep that human touch. Basically because, a startup is a small place. And everyone knows about what's going on with the other one. And that's where the earlier narrative I talked about, that you have to make them be your family. And you have to make them also, you should consider them as your family and make them feel that they must also consider you as their family and everyone else as their family. And that's where in the startups, all this food, eating culture and all that one day came out. I think no other company, we always used to have corporate lunch rooms where the executives go somewhere and the senior executives go somewhere and so on and so forth. But this commonplace eating, and you can eat as much as you want and you can take even food to home. These are like, where all these family conversations came in. Googles and Facebooks didn't just do it just for the sake of doing something different, but they did it because it creates a very different narrative around the team. And playful work environment, open space work environment, so on and so forth. So it's very important that when you are letting go, you are very careful, because that will have a ripple effect on everyone else. So one of the, like in this COVID situation, most of the thing that we have been telling our investee companies is that first cut your pay, even though you have cash in the bank. Just run a tight ship. If you are cutting your own pace, founder's pace by 20-25%, then you still have a face to go back and tell your team, look, if I cut 10% of yours or 15% of yours, I'm sure none of you will really perish. But in the process, I can hold the team together. Otherwise, 6 months down the road or 3 months down the road, if the business environment do not improve, I might have to let 1 or 2 of you go. That's not what I want to do. Those are you are all like arms and legs and fingers of my body. So let's take the pain. And in the process, most of our startups had done that, and they've been able to conserve at least 3-4 months of extra gunpowder in terms of the runway that got extended. And every employee appreciates that. They volunteers, they comes forward. They feel that, okay, we are in a family and the family takes care of us. So in turn, it is my obligation to take care of my family.